I have a Java project and I will create a class, new class with some package. So I'll name it as my JDBC test with a main method. So this is my application. So this is a normal program with a main method. Okay, so first we need to know one thing: how to connect to the database. Database can be MySQL, Oracle, MS SQL, Sybase, and there are almost 55 databases currently present. Now JDK, made by Sun Microsystem and then Oracle, cannot connect to the database because, for the simple reason, from the Java side we do not know how to connect to the database because it is designed by somebody else. The vendor of the database has made the application. It's also a software, so we do not know how to connect and how to make the appropriate provision for firing the SQL queries. They know it better. So there is no way we can write any code for this. So JDBC does not provide any implementation for this particular work. Then what do they provide? Obviously, Java provides something called interface. So interface sets a set of rules what we want. Okay, so what to do is told by the interface. We had discussed about interface earlier also. So interface says what to do, and there need to be an implementation for that. They are called classes. So each of the class should be implementing the interface. That means it should be giving provisions or definitions for all the methods available in the interface. Okay, so what to do, the interface is, that means you need to connect to the database, we need to create a prepared statement or a statement or execute the query. All these are methods available in the interfaces, and somebody has to implement all these methods in their classes, and those classes are provided by the vendor of the database. So those classes are kept in a jar file, packed in a jar file and given to us. Okay, so MySQL, there will be a jar file. Oracle, there will be a jar file. All of them provided by the vendors. They are all implementing the interface defined in the JDK inside the package java.sql. Okay, so first step what you need to do is we need to go to our I have given you all the core Java. Okay, in that core Java the JDBC is there. Here you see the MySQL jar file. If you are having Oracle, it is OJDBC 14.jar, and each of them will be giving their own jars. So I have to include this jar file in my project. So copy this path, right click on the project, build path, configure build path, go to libraries, add external jars, paste the path there, open, and take the MySQL connector Java, the version bin.jar. Okay, you can see that here I have included in the libraries the jar file provided by MySQL database. Say OK, it's included. If you look at the left side, reference libraries, you can see it here. So the jar file is included. Now we can use the class inside that. And with JDBC, we have something called coding to interface. Generally, Java is like that. Okay, Java is like that, coding to interface. That will be the best way of writing code, so that the implementations can be changed later. So we are seeing just now an example of coding to interface. That means we will not be making any new object. There will be no new keyword here. Fine. So what is the first thing to do? The first thing to do is you need to load the class which will connect to the database, and that class is called driver. If you expand this jar file, you can see com.mysql.jdbc. Under this, in this jar file, there is something called driver. You can see that left side. So the driver.class, we need to load it. So the package is com.mysql.jdbc. The class name is driver. So how to load this? Okay, we are not using this class with a new keyword, and because of that, the JVM will not load this class into memory. We need to explicitly load this class. For that, we use the class called class. Even class is a class in Java. It has a static method dot for name. Okay, the first one. So with a string. So we need to provide to this for name a string which will be the fully qualified name of the driver, which is com.mysql. Just check here. Okay, mysql dot jdbc dot driver. This driver dot class gets loaded into memory. There is no object created, but the driver class will get loaded. Make sense? But this throws an exception, so try catch it. Surround with try catch, because there is something called class not found. Maybe you misspelled it, or you did not provide the jar file. If you have not provided the jar file, from here the compiler doesn't know about this. There's a string, so compiler will not check for this. Runtime it will throw exception if it did not find this driver. So this will be different for different databases. Whatever they have provided, you have to include. You need to check in the jar file. Okay, or the documentation will provide the details. So now the class is loaded. So I'll put a sys out driver loaded, just to check it. If it's not loaded, it will throw exception. Let us run it and see. So test it every step so that you'll know where the mistake is. As a Java application. Okay. Perfect. Okay, the driver is loaded, so no issues. The next step is So let me open my SQL client, MySQL. After installing database, you will find this. So run this command line client. So when you're installing the last queue for password, so that password, same password I have to give now. Okay, so you'll be seeing this. Now I'll say show databases. So some default ones will be the test is a normal one we use. So I have created one database. It's create database, something like this. If I ending with a semicolon, all the queries should end with a semicolon. So this is called SQL query, and this is the language we use to speak to the database. So create database, Zentest, it creates one. So again, if I say show databases, so you can see Zentest is there. Use Zentest. Now database is changed. I entered Zentest database and I'll say show tables. No, none of the tables is there. Okay, so I'll create a table. Create table emp bracket eid say int ename varchar 30, size of that string, then int again, location varchar, close the bracket, semicolon. So table is created. Now if I say show tables, it will show the table emp. If I want to see the structure of the table, describe emp. So it is saying that EIDs, these are columns and their type. There is no primary key, so I'll add a primary key. Alter table emp, add constraint pkid emp, some name, primary key bracket eid. I am putting a primary key on that. So it is added to the column EID, and if you describe now, you can see PRI here. So key is primary here. Fine. My table is ready. To see the data, select star from EMP. Nothing is there, that's why it's showing empty. So I'll say insert into EMP values. So first one is number, comma, name, it will be in single quotes. Say age is 24, comma, location is fine. So all varchar will be in single quotes, number will be direct. Now if I say select, let's come here. What I'll do is now I will write a application to fetch this data from the database and display on my console. So after this is first step. Okay, so one is load the driver, successful. Next is connection, CONNE, and this is belonging to SQL package, so control spacebar, you need to use java.sql.connection. This is the one interface. So you can see the java.sql.connection. Give some variable equal to, you need to use a class called driver manager present in the SQL package. So driver manager, control space bar, there it is. Okay, Java SQL driver manager dot get connection with three strings. This one. Okay, so this is the one. So first string will be the URL. The second string will be the login. The third string will be the password. Okay, the URL is provided by them, by the corresponding okay, it is here, JDBC colon MySQL colon / IP address of the machine and the database name. Okay, so I have to give URL here, but I have to change the database as Zen test. Fine. So this is my database, Zen test, and this is the IP address. The database is in my machine, so localhost is okay, and this is what they have given, JDBC colon MySQL colon as per them. Now we need to add a catch clause to surrounding try. In real projects, the database is in an independent machine. There is no other application running on a database machine. It's very critical because database is accessed by everybody. So many applications are using the same database. So many connections are there and so many users are there. So because of that reason, they don't even provide a monitor for that machine. It's kept in the server room. Nobody has access except the DBA, who connects the monitor at that time only, or remote connection. So what happens is, we need to provide that machine's IP address here, and when you install the database, it will ask for the port number. 3306 is the default one. In that case, you don't need to provide it. Else you have to provide IP address colon the port number. Okay, like this. So this is a normal way of writing it, and here you'll write the IP address. In my case, it is 127.0.0.
How will it determine the one?
Yeah, it will go search in the machine. Now this is my local address, so it will search only my machine. But if it is elsewhere, it will search. Yeah.
How can we determine the IP address?
Okay, how to
can we get
determine
the
the IP address?
of my machine?
Yeah, start CMD, open the command prompt, ipconfig. Okay, so when you say ipconfig, you can see here I have my IP address is 192.168.1.2. If you are in the network, you will get an IP address. This is given by my switch in the Wi-Fi. At my home I have Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi has given me this IP address dynamically. Whichever device connects, it will get an IP address. Make sense? So this is a LAN address 192.168, so it won't go out to the internet. But if you are on the internet, it will be different IP address. That machine which is kept in the as a server, generally it will be on the internet. So internet IP address will be there. Fine. So this is the IP address you have to give. Done. So there is a localhost. 127.0.0.1 is localhost. It's allowing me because so here we have two things done. Driver is loaded, connection is created. Okay, so you got the connection. This is connection interface. Fine. So it has given you an object. So this driver manager got connection, went through this driver with this URL and the login and password, and gave you an object which is implementing connection interface. We don't care what it is giving you. We have a connection object, that's it. Okay, some object of some class which is implementing connection interface. It is there in the jar file given by them. Fine. From this connection you will create a statement. So it is statement, Java SQL statement. Okay, so this is the class. stmt is equal to connection dot create statement. Okay, so this also throws SQL exception. It is caught here. So if there is error, it will throw. No error. Next is the statement dot execute query. You can see execute query is a string, that is SQL is passed to it. Execute query string SQL which returns a result set. Here you'll write the query. So it returns a result set. Result set rs equal to statement dot execute query. What is the query? That should be a appropriate query which is for your particular database. This is my query. I know it works, so it has to work here also. So from this result set I will get the values. So it's exactly matching the table, same as a table, but row by row it will fetch. And you can, after fetching one row, you can go through the columns and get the values. So put a while loop, rs dot has next. Okay, so it's returning a boolean. You can see that true false. If it is there, it will return a true value, and the pointer will move to the first row. The first time you call it, it is in 0 actually. When you say next, it will go to the pointer will of the result set. It will go to the first row. You can print it. Okay, so rs dot get what is that, int 1. Here it doesn't start with 0, it starts with 1. So get int 1 means it is going to get the first one, EAD. It's int, that's why I given that. Plus, give some space, plus rs dot get string with 2. So it will fetch the second one, which is a string, varchar, I know it. Third one is again int, plus, comma, plus rs dot get int 3, plus rs dot get string again 4. So this is the way I fetch it. So rs dot get int get string get int get string. So because it is like that, it is like, you know, int varchar int varchar. Now you can run it. You see the output. Just check for one more row. It's primary key, so I have to change the ID. You can see that both the values have come. Make sense? So this is how you fetch the value from database. Is this very difficult? You should follow this steps strictly. So second one is what? Okay, first one is not that. So first step is add driver jar file to class path. Second is load the driver. Third is get the connection. Fourth is create statement. Fifth is execute query. Then iterate over the result set to fetch data. Any doubt in this? These are very simple steps. Unfortunately, you have to remember all these steps. So make a note of all these points. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, which I have given you. Anybody can ask you this question in any interview. Okay, so it's like this. Add the driver jar to file class path. Load the driver. Get the connection. Create the statement. Execute the query. And iterate over the result set to fetch the data. These are the steps, and it is done.
Yeah, sir, during college we use this PHP MyAdmin tool to access the database. Is it wrong?
You can use that also, no problem. You can use that also. It comes when you
I feel
install,
that it's a
I
bit
think when you
easier than
install,
this.
yeah, when you install this one, no?
SAM.
Oracle, if you install it, will give you that tool. Any front end you can use. Even MySQL has a tool for that with all the UI for helping you. But don't use that because you'll not learn SQL query. See, in this you are forced to write all the SQL queries. You will learn SQL query with this. If you use a UI, you will become lazy. Correct. It's just like using Eclipse for Java instead of using command line.
Yeah.
The command line will make you learn Java.
True.
Same way here also, MySQL also. If you use the command line client, this is better because you learn SQL. Without knowing the SQL query, you can't fire any query. Whereas if you use a UI, then everything becomes easy. Right click and see the data. Right click, create a table. That is difference. So this is clear.
Yes, sir.
So this is for selecting data from database. Now I would like to insert. So create one more class. Okay, same. First step is there.
Sir? Sir?
Yep. Yeah.
Sir, want to know about Odbc driver. So, what are the function of Odbc driver or
Okay.
MySQL file?
Yeah. Java came later on. Earlier to that, Microsoft had its own way of writing databases and connecting to it. So Microsoft had something called Open Database Connectivity or ODBC. Okay.
Okay.
Now when Java came, Java provided JDBC. But how to connect
Okay.
to ODBC related databases like MS Access of Microsoft? So we had to use ODBC for that. So what Java provided it is a bridge driver. So it's called JDBC ODBC bridge. Fine. If you go to this one, my drivers.txt, you can see here. You can see that?
For ODBC, sir, for
Yeah.
sir, for
This is called
ODBC driver,
JDBC
so we
ODBC
have
bridge
to
driver.
change the class path.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it works only in
Sir, we have to
Microsoft.
change the class. Okay.
Yeah, it works only with Microsoft, not with Unix, because Microsoft is ODBC. Okay, so that you need to set in the database connections in your Windows operating system. So this is
Okay.
type 1 driver, what is we just now discussed. So JDBC to ODBC bridge driver is type 1 driver. So it connects to the ODBC driver existing on the client computer, and you need to configure the ODBC data sources. So it is only for backward compatibility. You are not supposed to use in JDBC. You should use always pure driver, which is type 4. What we just now used is a type 4.
Native API and native protocol driver.
Yeah, there are two more, type 2 and type 3. So type 2 is native API, partly Java. Means what happens is some programs are written in C, C++. Fine. So how to connect to that?
Yeah.
So that you cannot connect through JDBC pure driver. So you need to use a native API driver. This is called type 2 driver, which is partly Java, because your application in Java connects to that native API, which is C or C++ generally written, and it's similar to bridge only, but it's not a ODBC. It is JDBC only. Then type 3 is pure Java client. Okay, it translates into network protocol. It is not database specific. It is network specific. It is made for network. So then these requests from the protocol sends to the server. See, this is network specific, network protocol specific, not database specific. Right? Now what you wrote code for pure Java, pure type 4 Java, thin client, and in MySQL is database specific. It's written for MySQL. They have provided you the driver, correct? So MySQL has provided the driver for you. So that is database specific. Now suppose you want to write network protocol specific. In that case you have to use type 3 drivers, and those are in turn converted into database specific protocol automatically. So that is type 3, what you see here, pure Java client to server driver. So it connects to server but not the database. But generally, or most of the time,
Sir,
we use yeah, what is it?
How can we fetch the native API on
Fetch the what?
the class path? We have to fetch the class path through Eclipse, no? Or other driver, JDBC driver.
No, you need the driver for that. We are talking about drivers, not about the class path. These are drivers available.
Oh.
4 types of driver. Okay, this is also interview question. What are the different types of drivers? Type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. Type 1 is JDBC ODBC bridge. Type 2 is native API, partly Java driver. Type 3 is pure Java client to server driver, that is for network protocol. And type 4 is the pure Java driver, which is database specific. And generally we'll be using type 4 only. Okay.
My
So when you
MySQL already come with the JDBC and Odbc drivers.
no MySQL will give you this. Just now you saw in the jar file it is there. They gave you the jar file.
Okay.
Just include the jar file in your class path.
Okay.
So every database they'll give you. My Oracle give you their own driver. MySQL will give you their driver and so on. This is given by the vendor. Fine.
Yes, sir.
So those are the different types of drivers. Okay, we're talking about this class, what they give you. Okay. It has to be given to you by the vendor. Clear about that?
Yes, sir.
Can we see an insert statement now?
What was the JDBC result set interface?
Yeah. See, JDBC, as I told you, provides a set of interfaces. First one is the connection. We
Yes.
get the object of connection using driver manager get connection method. It's going through the driver, so driver only provides it. Okay, so you get the connection. The connection has a method called create statement, which in return returns a statement object. Statement is a interface. The statement has a method called execute query, which in turn returns a result set object. The result set interface is mapping to your table in the database. So it has
Okay.
something similar to rows and columns. As you saw, you see
It
this while loop here. Yeah, you see while loop.
Yeah.
This next is actually going to row by row. First row, second row, third row, and so on. When it reaches the end of the result set, it will stop because this will return true false. It will be true as long as the data is still there. Then this get 1, index 2, these are all columns. Column 3, column
Okay.
4. So these are the columns. So you're getting get 4 times. Instead of string int, you can use object also. Directly you get the any kind of type.
Yeah.
So this is a result set.
Sir,
It's
the
mapping to
class
the table. Yep.
The class not found access from.
Because you may have misspelled it. I'll misspell it now.
Okay.
I put X here. Now this is wrong.
Okay.
Correct?
Mhm.
Now if I run it. See? Class not found. Clear? There
Yes.
is no such class. I deliberately made a mistake now. So I made a mistake here, so there is no class. This is the correct class. It is there in this jar file. com.mysql.jdbc.driver. You see that? It is there.
Yes.
It found it in the jar file. Okay? So the same thing we'll do now. Next is connection. Add try catch. Next is, I'll make a small difference here. There is something called prepared statement. Prepared statement. Okay. Connection dot. Now it is not create, prepare statement. Then I need to give the query. So this time I'll use insert. I'll use insert statement. But here I'll give what I want to insert: EID, comma, ename, comma, EH, comma, location. The danger is always there if there is more than 4 columns. So EID, ename, EH, location, values. So I will not give values here. I'll give 4 question marks. Okay, so this should be mapping the database column name. No spelling mistakes. Values I'll give 4 items, but there is no item here. I'm just preparing it. The query is not complete. So code should be there. Okay. So this is my query. Insert into EMP, EID, ename, age, location, values, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. 4 question mark appear. I'll replace it now. So here I am preparing the statement. We'll see why it is required. Now what I'll do, I'll use a scanner. Scan is equal to new scanner. You can take it from file also. Okay. sys dot in. So sys out. Enter EID, ename, EH, location. I'm asking the user. User will give me. I'll put it in the pstmt dot set int first one scan dot next int. Okay, so what scanner will do, will convert this EID into integer and insert in the first place. It'll insert here for the EID. It's an integer. Same thing, pstmt dot set string, second one scan dot next. This is a string. pstmt dot set int 3 scan dot next int. So this is the age. So I'll replace this question mark with the value integer. pstmt dot set string, fourth one scan dot next. Now my statement is complete. Okay, so prepared statement was prepared here with this statement, with this query, and after you taking from user the values, I am filling up the wildcard question marks with the values. Int next, int string. After this I will say pstmt dot execute. Here what happens is pstmt execute update. It will fire the query along with the values, along with these values. Okay, and this will return an integer. You can see integer is it. The integer is the number of rows affected, the row count. Okay, this is a data manipulation language, DML. So it returns an integer, int rows equal to execute update. Added record plus rows. How many rows are there? It will add, it will show. So you can use that number as confirmation of adding in database. If it is greater than 0, successful. If it is 0, it is not successful. Okay, so run this. So EID, no need to give any codes, anything. Added records. Check it. It's done. See, if I say
no value.
Say,
And
location.
we want to put nothing
location.
on.
Yeah, I removed location now. See, I removed location. Location had commented. See, null is there. See the advantage of having this. I do not want to enter location. It's fine. I give like this. So only 3 values are there. Only 3 I fit. 4th one I ignored. Execute. It inserted in that. See, null is there. But it should be not. It should be nullable. See, this is nullable. But if I say not null, it will not agree. If this is not null, right? When I am creating the table, I can give not null. Create table, ename varchar 30 not null. Then it becomes compulsory to insert values. Okay? But now it is not compulsory. I can insert values. All the 3 I can insert null values except EID. EID is primary key. I have to have values, plus I cannot have repeated values. Okay? So this is insert statement using prepared statement. Now the question is, why do we require prepared statement? This code is assuming that you know SQL queries. You don't need to know in detail of the database, but how to fire the queries you should know. What are the queries? This you should know. This thing you should know. Nothing much about database you need to know except the queries. SQL queries you should know, but it's
So
good
what
to.
are the what are the uses of JDBC on the project, like real-time project?
Just now you saw. You are able to insert through application. Insert values. You are able to get values.
Okay.
You are able to get values into application. It's very important. Putting data into database, taking data from database, manipulating data in database. Your application will be able to see you do it. Just like a file writing. Why were you using file? to store in a permanent medium. It's called persistence. And here also what you are looking at is persistence. You're persisting values or data. Okay, you got it in memory. The user gave it to you and you brought it to memory. But did you save it? Yes, you saved it. It is there in database. See, it is there here. It is there permanently available in database. Anytime you can fetch it. Anytime you can run this and fetch the data. See, anytime you can run it. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, anytime. That is because of persistence. Persistence means saving data in a permanent medium, like a file or a database. So you have seen statement, you have seen prepared statement. What is the difference? We need to check that. Okay, so let me explain that. So there are 4 steps in database handling SQL query. So first step is parse the query. You might have made mistakes in the syntax of the SQL. Second is compile the query. Just like you compile Java, database also compiles the query. Third step is plan and optimize the data acquisition path. The best way to fetch the data from database, it will optimize it, and this is called creating a plan. It's database funda, so it creates a plan for it. The last step is executes the optimized query and acquires and returns data. Fine. So these 4 steps happen when you're using a statement. But if you use a prepared statement, it does the first 3 in advance, because you said prepare statement. Since you said prepare statement, once you fire this, it does all these 3 steps first. Pass the query, compile the query, plan, optimize data acquisition path. And when you say execute update, at this point it fires the query in the database, the last one. Now if you had put a while loop here, if you use a while loop here, what will happen? It will keep on doing until you stop the program. But because this prepare statement is outside the while loop, it will not recreate the statement again. That means you will save some time in not doing this. You are only executing the statement. Okay, you are getting the data, executing it. You are again getting the data, executing it. Because of this, you are doing this 4th one continuously again and again. And this is only 25% of the total effort. These 3 are not required. So 75% of the effort is gone. So in case you are updating the database, say 1000 records, it saves lot of time. It saves lot of time and it improves the efficiency of your program. The performance of the database will improve. Okay, so it lessens the load on the database engine at execution time because of prepare statement. Okay, why it happens? Databases store caches of execution plans for previously executed statement. There is a cache there. It stores that plan there. Now when you fire the same statement again, it will think, oh, it's having already the plan for this. No need to create this plan again. So each time it's executed appears as the same SQL, only the value is changing. Correct. So because of that, the database thinks the same plan has to be executed, and because it says the same query again. The value has been changed every time, but the statement is already ready, and because of that, plan is ready. It finds the plan in the cache of the database. It uses the same plan again and again till you stop this execution. This is the reason you use a prepared statement. This is also an interview question. What is the difference between prepared statement and statement? You have to explain all these 4 points. You explain this and they'll be happy. What exactly happens when database executes an SQL query? Parse the query, compile the query, create a plan, execute the query. 4 steps. In prepared statement, first 3 are not done every time. Only once it will do. Whereas in statement, every time it has to do all the 4 steps. So when you want to repeatedly manipulate the database, use a prepared statement. When I am fetching some data, for example, I will take employee ID from the user, and that employee will have a department, say for example marketing department, and he will be located in a location, say Delhi, and he will be having some allowance, city allowance. So where is this data stored? Every employee, no need to save the department details. Okay, so the employee will have an entry in his record which department ID belongs to him. Say for one department ID D01 will have around say 100 employees, and there will be another table called department where the department ID D01 will be there, department name will be there, department location will be there. Okay, now location details need not be there in the department table. So location column will have the location ID, and another table will be there, location table. So location ID, location name, and location address, and you can put the location in the location table, the allowance for that location. The problem is now there are 3 tables: employee table, department table, and location table. Now I want to find the city allowance of one particular employee. So I will take the employee ID and return the city allowance for that person. That means I have to find first the department ID of that employee ID. Then from the table of department I have to fetch the location ID, and then I have to go to the table of location and find the city allowance. 3 steps are there. It is not a good idea to fire 3 queries in database. Okay, so I will show you that I create say alter table emp, add column, okay. So I added a column called department, which is varchar 10. Then create table dpt did Pinkerton, dname, location, so I have a department table, insert into DEPT values, it will be D01, name will be IT, location will be L01. It's a ID of location. Sales 2. Okay, so I have department here and I have EMPZ. Okay, I did not insert department in EMP table because there was no department. Now there is a department. Okay, so I will insert into EMP the department D01 or D02, and I will put a compulsory requirement that I should not be able to insert D05 in EMP table. I should be able to insert only D01 or D02 because those departments exist. How to put it? Okay, I did not provide a primary key. Table DEPT add constraint primary key ID primary key DID. Okay, primary key is it. Again alter table EMP add constraint. Now I'll put a link between EMP and department, which is called foreign key. Foreign key DEPT references DEPT bracket DID. Okay, that means EMP table has DEPT column which is referencing DID of department table. Okay, now again let me check that. Okay, so now I have to insert department here. So update EMP set DEPT equal to D05 where EID is equal to 111. It will not allow, cannot add or update a child row. Foreign key constraint FK DEPT foreign key references department DID. It's violated. There is a violation of constraint, so I cannot add it. I have to add 1 or 2. Now it's happy. Okay, so that's the idea of foreign key. If it is not there in department table, don't insert. Makes it clear?
Okay.
Now for 122 also I will put 1. So I'll put 2 for 2, 3, 4. Done.
2, 3, 4.
Okay, perfectly done. I cannot add anything else. Only D01, D02 because only 2 are present in the table. It makes sense because without department you can't have employee. So this is called foreign key relationship. Fine. Now I'll create table location ID so I'll be creating a location ID which will be same thing as department name, location name, address, see if you want to drop table, drop table location. Very dangerous query. It will not even ask you anything. Straight away it will drop along with the data all gone. Drop table. So I would like to add primary key here. Primary key. So this first one becomes a primary key. You can see a primary PRI is there. So insert into location values. We'll use that L0 and L02. Okay, select star from location. There you go. Okay, so we'll insert one more 2 user. Okay, so we have 3 tables now. DPT. You can see that now. EAD 111 is in D01 and D01 is in L01 and L01 is in Bangalore JP Nagar. Okay, now I can also update location. First I'll alter table location, add column, allowance, city, okay, update location, set city allowance equal to 3000 where ID equal to Bangalore L01. It is equal to L02. Okay, so I changed city allowance of Bangalore is 3000, L01, L02 Chennai is 3500. Now what is required is for 111 what is the city allowance? How will you find it? First you'll fire a query, select department from EMP where EID is equal to 111. Then after getting this D01, select location from department where DID is equal to D01. Once you get L01, select city allowance from location where ID is equal to L01. Very lousy way of getting the data. Okay, you can directly also select city allowance from location where ID equal to, again open bracket, select ID is what location from DEPT where DID equal to, select DEPT from EMP where EID equal to 111. Close the bracket, semicolon. Two brackets. I got it correctly. But what will happen here now? See, I got 3000 correctly. So L01, which is D01, correct. But this is not at all a good way of writing a query. It's called nested query. It would have been better if you had fired individual queries, but firing individual queries from your application involves network, it involves database query, and it becomes very slow because database is being used by so many other people and it is always in a different location. See, the database may not be in Bangalore, it may be in Chennai or Mumbai. The server will be sitting somewhere else, so you know the traffic, how much it will be there. So just you want only one value, you want city allowance 3000 rupees and you are giving it 111 EID. So with 111 you have to get 3000. It would have been so simple, but you are writing so many queries, firing so many queries, so much of network. Not at all a good idea. You can't do it from from your application. You can't write a complex query like
Sir,
this.
one doubt.
Yeah. Tell me.
For Bikram, the location is null, no? Hello?
That you need not have actually. Wait, you can actually delete that.
Yeah, if we call for his city allowance.
No, wait, I'll remove that. Data table EMP. How to remove it? Remove. I'm not. Remove column. Drop column. Okay. So okay. So for Vikram department D02. So department D02 sales L02. Yeah, it is confusing actually because location is in location table. It is not there in EMP. Fine. So this is the actual structure. It's not because what will happen is Vikram and Ananta may be in the same location, Bangalore. Right. So you'll have to put Bangalore, JP Nagar, city allowance, all this in the same table. Not a good idea. So keep it in separate table. Just put the department D01.
Now it
Now the structure becomes very clear.
yeah.
So we're getting like this. Okay. So we're getting 3000 when you fire EAD 111. So 111 goes to D01, D01 goes to L01, and L01 goes to 3000 and fetches the data. Because you return 3 queries, select 3 times. It's a nested query, so the database has to do a lot of work on this. It will slow down the database, it will slow down your application also. So database comes to your rescue with this by giving you an option of procedure. Okay, procedure. So here what we do is we write a procedure. Okay, so we write a procedure, create procedure myproc. Let me write that. Okay, create procedure myproc bracket. In parameter is EMP ID, right? EMP ID. That is which type? ID is int, right? Int. Out parameter is allowance. That is also int. Begin. Now your query starts here. So you have to declare what do you want to declare. Now we want temporary, what you want, dpt where department set and stuff. Okay, so we're storing that in that. Then first step is select dpt into dpt from EMP where EID equal to this one. So we got the department D01 into temporary variable for the emp ID which came from outside. So you can see it's a method. So in parameter has come here. So that came here. We queried the database and got it from the table. After getting that, select. After getting this, location into ln from dpt where did equal to dpt. Okay, after getting this value, fire it in department table and fetch the location. Now select, what do you want now? City allowance into allow. Where id equal to ln. Okay, so the problem is this semicolon will terminate your procedure. So change it to $. So you have to put $. Here. Okay. So delimiter change. So now it is not semicolon. $. Is the delimiter. Create procedure. There's error. Try to use alias. Forgot the table name. Location L. This alias will make it very clear. Done. Okay. So how to call it? Call my proc. What is it? One. Name. Correct. Okay. So if I say 2 the same department. Correct, it's coming correct. So this is called procedure. So let us go through this line by line. First step is change the delimiter to from semicolon to $, because I don't want to terminate at this point. Then if it is there, drop it. So if it's already created and there is a mistake, first drop it, then create it. So create statement is like this, starts this point, ends at this point. So create procedure myproc bracket in parameter and out parameter. Any number of in parameter you can have, any number of out parameter you can have, separated by comma. So empid int allow int. Fine. So from outside this is coming in parameter, and this going outside is out parameter. So you are taking ID and returning allowance. So first what you will do, you will declare two variables, department DEPT and ln, and after begin, end is here. So select department into DPT from EMP, where EID is equal to this value, EMPID. Then select location into ln, this is also temporary, from department, where DID is this value, DPT. Now again select city allowance into allow, directly inside this, where from location, where ID is equal to ln, this value. So all the three are successfully fired. All three separate queries, no creation of big table at all. Now this is sitting inside the database, it's already compiled. You see the advantage now? It won't take any time to fire these three queries separately and get you the data. It is sitting adjacent to the table itself, very near the table. So naturally there is no loss of time at all. Once you fire this, you insert send a value and get a value in return. Internally it is doing a lot of queries. It doesn't matter. We need to use it in our program now. So Java needs to give support for that also. Okay. I'll create a class now. New class. So I'll say my procedure test. Two is not there. Remember that SQL is slightly different for MySQL and Oracle. Varchar 2 in Oracle is varchar in MySQL. Okay, so same thing. Class for name. Okay, it's the same project, so no need to put the jar in the library. Then connection also same. SQL exception. Then next is your callable statement, Java SQL callable statement. Okay, so remember that Java SQL callable statement. Okay, prepare call, like prepared statement, it is called prepared call. So what is the, so call my prop, so the same thing, whatever I fired here I have to give here. So stmt dot if you check yesterday's program, you can see same thing we are doing with prepared statement. Okay, we are setting the set int. So I think we can use a scanner. Okay, let's see for hard coding. Then register out parameter. Okay, the second one of SQL type you have to say to type types dot varchar. Is it varchar? No, int it is. Okay, so it's int, so we need to register the out parameter. Then get int what is that? Elements. Okay,
How can we process it?
okay, the error is this. Execute. Okay, 2 3 4. Yeah, so 2 3 4 is this. I will store it somewhere. It's working. So for 111 I'm getting 3000, 234 I'm getting 2500, which is as per my procedure.